Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a question that might honestly change the way you look at every single animal you see, from your own dog to a fish swimming in a tank. We're diving into some fascinating new science that's revealing the rich inner lives of animals.
So let's just jump right in. The big question, right? Do animals really feel things the way we do? I mean, is there something actually going on inside their heads that's anything like our own emotions and our own thoughts?
To really get where we are now, we first have to go back in time. We have to understand a very old and, as we're about to see, a very flawed idea about what animals even are. For centuries, really, the main way of thinking, especially in the West, was that animals were basically just biological machines. Sure, they might react to things, but the whole idea that they had complex inner lives or any kind of consciousness, that was pretty much dismissed. It's like they were seen as these intricate puppets, pulling the right strings, but with nobody really home inside.
But that old idea? Yeah, science is pretty much shattering it to pieces. We are now seeing some seriously compelling proof that we are absolutely not alone in our ability to feel.
So, where's all this proof coming from? Well, let's take a look at the incredible evidence coming straight from the animal kingdom itself.
Let's start with elephants. Scientists have seen something that, well, it looks undeniably like grief. They'll find the bones of a family member who has passed, and they'll gently, so carefully, touch them with their trunks. They'll just stand there in silence for long stretches, making these deep, quiet sounds. It really is a profound emotional response to death.
And how about pigs? We have all these stereotypes about them, but they are incredibly smart. They can solve puzzles that would be tough for a toddler, they understand social hierarchies, and here's the amazing part. They show empathy. If another pig is upset, they seem to feel it right along with them. We also now know that cows feel very distinct emotions, like pure joy. You can literally see it when they're let out into a pasture for the first time after a long winter. And beyond that, they form strong, lasting friendships with other cows in the herd. Just like us, they have best friends they want to hang out with. Even chickens are an animal we totally underestimate. They don't just peck around aimlessly. They actually play. They're super curious, and they learn from watching each other, passing down knowledge through their group. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this goes way beyond just mammals. Take fish. For so long, people just assumed they couldn't feel pain. But the science is now clear. They have pain receptors, they absolutely remember painful events, and they actively try to avoid them. That's not just a reflex, that's learning from a bad experience. And then you've got octopuses, which are kind of like aliens living here on our own planet. They will solve complex puzzles, like opening a screw-top jar, not for a food reward, but just because they can. It seems like they do it for fun, just out of sheer curiosity. So when you put all of this evidence together, what do you get? Well, the conclusion from science is becoming really clear. These animals aren't just reacting, they are sentient. That means they have subjective experiences. They feel pain, they can feel joy, and each one of them has its own unique point of view on the world. This scientific revolution isn't just a bunch of interesting facts. It actually forces us to face a really profound and very modern dilemma about how we live alongside all these other feeling beings. And this brings us to this huge contradiction in our world. On one hand, science is telling us that animals have these rich inner lives full of emotion. But on the other hand, our system of industrial farming often treats them like products on an assembly line, where their individual experiences are just ignored for the sake of efficiency. So recognizing that these are feeling individuals capable of suffering and joy really challenges the ethical foundation for these massive systems. The knowledge that they feel makes their treatment, well, it makes it all deeply questionable. And this leaves us with one last profound question to think about. The science is getting clearer every single day. So if these animals share our world not as unfeeling objects, but as conscious beings who can feel pain and joy and grief and empathy, what then is our moral obligation to them?